Yeah.
Okay, so when we stay in Ireland, there'd be like this big room, and there's one double bed and then a bunk bed, and I fell off that once, which is another story. But so Catherin would get the big bed because she was the oldest, and she wouldn't let anyone else get their way. I would get the bottom bunk because I fell off the top bunk once, and I didn't want to fuck with that shit anymore. And my little sister would be up top, and so we would just kind of be trying to go to sleep at night. Like, we would always be tired because we'd be doing stuff all day, like running around on the farm and shit, and just like doing crazy fun stuff. So by the end of the day, we were all like pooped, you know? And so I'd always be super ready to fall asleep. And Catherin would be such an asshole because A, she'd want to like stay up and talk and just be like reckless because she was older than us and that's what she wanted to do. And we'd be like, no, girl, like, I want to go to sleep, I'm ready, you know? And so she would, instead of, you know, trying to keep talking to us, she would start pretending that she was having sex.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How old was she?
I don't know. She was like she was a teenager. So she was probably like 13 or 14. Like, she'd make sounds, like, that she'd heard in movies or something, and she'd, like, jump around, like, hop around on the beds, and we'd both be like, ew, 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 ew. You know, like, so
that makes me think of Easy A, like, the fake sex, where she's, like, jumping on the bed.
Yeah, I would just be like, oh, Catherin, you're so disgusting,
That's
ew.
so cute. And
I wouldn't be able to sleep because she wouldn't stop. And, like,
no.
Even if you ignored her, she'd keep going because she knew it was a tactic, you know? So then I'd be like, oh, I hate this! And I'd go sleep on the couch. Like, she wouldn't even stop, like, so that I could actually go to sleep. I'd go sleep in the couch, on the couch, not in it. And, like, it happened numerous times. Like, I almost just started sleeping on the couch because I knew she'd start fucking with that shit again. And I was like, oh, you're awful. But then one time she was dreaming and like she was sleeping and we were like trying to wake her up, but we were trying to do it on the sly, so that she'd wake up and she'd see us and she'd freak out, you know what I mean? So we were all just like crowded around her and she was sleeping and she goes like, and we were like, oh! We were like, what is happening in her head? Like, we gave her so much shit.
That reminds me of something.
Because she just, when she woke up, we were like, what were you dreaming about? And of course, because she was older and so suave, she was like, because she figured out that we, like, saw her do that, and so she came up with a backstory. She goes, well, I was dreaming about, she always had a crush on somebody, and so we had this, he was like a farmer's hand, like a helper, and his name was Ronan, and she loved him, like.
He sounds hot.
He was pretty hot, but he had, like, a dead tooth.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Ronan with the dead tooth.
Yeah, so like if he kept his mouth closed, if he had his mouth closed, like he was pretty fine. But then you're like, hey.
He would smile,
you know?
and he'd be like, oh,
and
gosh.
he's kind of a jerk too. Like he knew Catherin liked him, but he'd always be really mean to her. Like, so it was always so terrible. But she was like, oh, I was dreaming about Ronan. He was kissing me in the garden, and we were just like, ah, like. So gross!
So great.
She used to always fuck with us like that. It's so.
Can you imagine little Liz, like, I think it'd be great, like, in the bed, like, like, I'm so happy to imagine that.
I used to get, like, mad. I'd be like, Catherin, stop! Like, this is not funny. I'm trying to go to sleep.
That's so wonderful.
And she'd be cracking up. She used to always do that. Like, anytime I tell her to stop or get upset, she'd just keep at it.
Yeah.
They used to make